My name is Martin Healy. I'm the director of Fitzwilliam Food Test Clinic. I've worked in the healthcare sector for the past 40 years, and the majority of that time in this specialist area of food intolerance. Now, this new state-of-the-art blood test was first developed about 20 years ago, and I first launched this test in Ireland around that time. It's now heartening to see some of the most established medical journals publish articles which clearly recognise the diagnostic potential of this test. Many people's lives have been transformed by this test. We are all now indebted to these people who have come forward to tell their story in video testimonial. They received no reward, no payment of any kind. Their only motivation was to assist others, so that others might benefit the same as they have from this food intolerance test. Thank you.
At 23, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. What followed was 10 years of constant pain, private hospitals, and an abundance of medications. Even walking down the stairs was painful. I had to take one step at a time and walk sideways, holding onto the banister in fear that I would fall, which would cause excruciating pain. I never knew how painful it would be to hit my baby finger off a table or a press. The pain would bring tears to my eyes. I spent 8 years taking tablet medications, which were not helping, and 2 years of self-injecting medications. I decided my quality of life was much more important than my quantity of life. After 10 years of trying different medications and traveling with doctors' notes to explain my injections, I decided to go for a food intolerance test to see if I could ease the arthritis myself. I was surprised. It turns out I am dairy intolerant, along with a few more intolerances of all things which were a staple part of my diet, which I ate and drank in abundance. Since that day, almost 2 years ago, I have not looked back. I have substituted dairy for soy products and almond milk. I no longer drink alcohol and have never taken prescribed medication since. Joint pain, inflammation medications, injections, and hospital visits are all a distant memory to me. I have my true life back and I am in control of my body. It feels almost too good to be true. Now and then I do break and eat something that I shouldn't, like milk, chocolate, or biscuits, and I will need an anti-inflammatory painkiller the next day to control the pain and inflammation, but it's nothing to the extent that it was. My intolerance test with Martin Healy literally changed my life. A simple test that gave me back my body and control over it with no more pain or fear of what I would be like in 10 or 20 years. I am forever grateful to him and his team.
I have to admit that when I first heard about the test, I was a little bit sceptical, but having seen the highly impressive progress that my wife made following the changes she made to her diet based on the test results, I was very impressed. So I thought it might be useful for me. I've had 1 or 2 ongoing health issues over the years. And so I visited Martin Healy at the Fitzwilliam Clinic in Dublin in early 2016. Had the very simple blood test, and a couple of weeks later received the results. So I made the changes to my diet, and very similarly to my wife's experience, within a couple of weeks, I found that my energy levels were improving, and some of the issues that I've been experiencing over a number of years now started to fall away. And what I found is that I've easily and quite naturally lost about a stone in weight. Remarkably, I'm feeling better than I have in a number of years. So I would admit that I'm surprised and impressed. What can I say apart from I would certainly recommend to anyone that's having ongoing health issues to get the food intolerance test.
Hi there, my name is Nora, and I have lived with IBS, chronic cystitis, and sinusitis for many years. When I moved to Dublin, my symptoms gradually got worse, and I went against the advice of my GP not to get a food intolerance test done. Once I got the test done, I was able to avoid the problematic foods that my body was sensitive to. And after 2 or 3 weeks, my symptoms began to decrease, and my body got a lot stronger so that I could fight off infections, and also my digestive issues were under control. And whenever I tell people about my diet, they're really sympathetic towards me and claim that they could never be so restrictive. However, the pain and sickness that I was going through from the way I used to eat is now completely managed by diet, and it's my motivation to continue with this lifestyle. I also built a website to share this with people who are also experiencing the same symptoms. And so for tips and ideas and suggestions and healthy recipes, you can visit my website at naturallynoni.com. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Ileana. Like so many people these days, I used to suffer with ongoing stomach and digestive problems. As anyone who has even suffered with such digestive issues would know, it can make life miserable. You are never sure about which foods to eat, and you never know which foods will sit comfortably in your stomach. All of these digestive problems came to an abrupt end following a food intolerance test at the Fitzwilliam Food Test Clinic. The test told me exactly which foods I reacted to. After just a few days of avoiding these foods, there was a significant improvement. Thanks to this food intolerance test, I feel so much better, and so does my stomach.
In January 2015, I was diagnosed with a condition called Hashimoto's hypothyroidism. Now, the symptoms that I was presenting with at the time were extreme tiredness and fatigue, low energy, a general feeling of unwellness, and I noticed that my skin and my hair and my nails were all in really bad condition. Now, at the time I was put onto medication, and that did help to a certain extent, but a year later I just noticed that the low energy, the tiredness was still there. So I decided to research to see was there anything else that I could do to help my thyroid problem. And during my research I discovered that there's a significant link between the digestive system and the thyroid. One of the things that was suggested was to try an elimination diet, and that would be to eliminate foods that might be causing a problem to my system. I was interested in trying this, but I just felt I needed some more professional help, and that was what brought me to Fitzwilliam Food Test Clinic. And Martin was really helpful in that he explained what the test was all about and what the intolerance and the elimination involved. The test itself was relatively simple. It was just a finger prick test, and then my blood sample was sent away to the lab to be analysed to see what foods might be causing a problem for me. The things that have improved the most for me, well, definitely my skin, my hair, my nails are in much better condition. But not just that, I've so much more energy. I feel I've got motivation again to do things. If you're somebody who's suffering from the kind of symptoms I'm talking about that exist with Hashimoto's hypothyroidism, I would advise you to have a food intolerance test done. It has made a huge difference to my life. And I would highly recommend Fitzwilliam Food Test Clinic.
My name is Laura Peters. For quite some time now, I've been suffering with health issues. Indigestion, tiredness, acne, weight gain, and hormone imbalances were an issue, but the nearly constant diarrhea and headaches were really causing problems in my daily life. I had tried going to doctors, even specialists, but no one had any answers for me. My endocrinologist did suggest I have a food intolerance test done, but the idea didn't really sink in until a friend told me about her positive experiences with it. She used the Fitzwilliam food test and had nothing but great things to say about it and her life now that she had implemented recommended dietary changes. I finally did my own Fitzwilliam food test and was surprised at the results. I would have never guessed that the foods that showed up as issues could have been causing my problems. I had quite a few common foods to avoid now, which caused some stress at first. I quickly found a way to eat great while still avoiding any foods that would cause a reaction, and within only a couple of weeks started feeling better. It has now been 5 months and I'm feeling so much better and rarely have symptoms anymore. Even better, I've lost 31 pounds without even having to restrict any calories.
Hi, I'm Nisha. I was diagnosed with high-functioning autism when I was 2. I was non-verbal until 6 years of age. I was in my own world. I suffered a lot of digestive problems at the time. I just screamed a lot. I had a lot rash on my face and my arms and had a lot of ear infections and asthma. I had the intolerance test by Martin Healy. Since then, I've started to come out of my shell. I was much calmer. There was less outbursts. We started going out as a family. My rash cleared up and my stomach healed. At first it was hard to get used to new food. People noticed my eye contact improve. My sleep patterns were healthy. I no longer got ear infections. My pain, light and such touch sensitivity improved. I have learned to manage my own autism through my diet, and I must extend my gratitude to Mr. Martin Healy.